The Battle of Minsk was the opening stage of the German invasion of the Soviet Union in the summer of 1941, also known as Operation Barbarossa. In this video I will recreate a battle in the city center of Minsk between German and Soviet soldiers. The first step is to build a frame, and this one is definitely the most complex one I've ever made. I need all of these modified bricks to attach reddish brown 1x6 tiles on the sides, as you can see right here. I've then added a second layer of the modified bricks and could start building the whole frame. Because I didn't want it to be totally straight, I've always added one more plate underneath the tiles. I've then repeated the step a few more times and used bricks to stabilize the frame, as you can see right here. Of course I had to build the side as well, but since I've used the same technique, let's speed this up. I've already prepared the panel for the other side, so let's add it real quick. The size of the main frame is 32 by 32 studs, and you will see in a minute why this is pretty helpful. Now I just had to build the final two panels in reddish brown and add them to the frame. I've then added filler bricks to the structure as well as these 16 by 16 plates. My idea for this MOC is to build a place in front of a building. Since this is a battlefield, I knew the street can't be just clean. That's why I've complemented light bluish gray into the medium nougat and used cheese slopes to create smooth transitions. You can also see that the placement of all the tiles, bricks and plates perfectly end up together. I also think that these masonry bricks perfectly work in combination with regular bricks and plates to build a battle damaged street. The following sequence of 20 seconds time-lapse building definitely took way longer in real life, but the end result was totally worth it. After finishing the front place, I've now had to elevate the rest of the MOC. And here's the proof that the size of the core is 32 by 32 studs, as the 16 by 16 plates perfectly fit in there. I've then stabilized the medium nougat area by using a handful of these modified bricks. Now I had to fill some annoying gaps. I've then repeated this step and again elevated the MOC. Now I will use a lot, and I really mean a lot, of these ignite tiles to make some nice looking stairs. This probably wasn't my most favorite part during the MOC building process, but the end result again was worth it. I've then brought the area behind the staircase at the same height. I didn't want to use all of these ingot tiles for the floor only, so I've decided to complement some light bluish grey Nexo shields as well as these quarter tiles in dark bluish grey. Next I want to build two big pillars which stand in front of the building and carry the roof. I've used these 1x3 rounded bricks, as pillars have to be round. I've added modified tiles which allowed me to attach these corner tiles for some extra details. Because I've wanted the pillars to be double-sided, I've had to find out a technique to connect both sides. I've grabbed these Technic bricks, put pins into them and then used these modified bricks with 4 studs on each side. I've connected everything by using small bar pieces, and here you can see why I've made this. I've achieved a construction where I have studs on both sides. I've then added some plates and bricks to connect everything together. Now I just had to connect both parts of the pillars. I've prepared the area where they will be and placed them onto the MOC. Before we continue with building the MOC, let's take a closer look at all the minifigures which will be in there. As I already mentioned in the beginning of the video, the battle will be fought between Soviet and German soldiers. All German soldiers are wearing the M40 Feldbluse as well as Gamaschen, which both of them were introduced in 1940. Because this MP40 gunner is supposed to shoot in the MOC, I will use these bended arms by Crazy Bricks. You have to remove the legs from the torso to attach these onto the minifigure. But this works super fast and make your minifigures look alive. Now we just need a helmet and a weapon, and the minifigure done. Let's continue with the MG team, which consists out of an MG gunner as well as an MG assistant. The Germans use these helmets with insignias, especially in the beginning of the war. His weapon is the MG34. The MG assistant is equipped with ammunition as well as a Kar-98. The two final minifigures are regular riflemen armed with a Kar-98 as well as a hand grenade. For the Soviets, I've used this early war uniform, which you definitely can recognize at the red color tabs. The standard rifle of these were the Mosin Nagant. The Soviet officer is wearing an eye patch as well as a crusher cap and is armed with a P-33. I've also prepared 3 more riflemen, but one is already shot. Now we can continue with the MOC and start building the walls of the house. To create a contrast between the floor, I've decided to go with dark tan first. I've added some basic masonry bricks as well as plates. I've then continued with the door, which will have a length of 12 studs. I've used jumper plates to place the plates above a bit off. I've then added a few modified bricks with studs on the sides and started adding plates and tiles. The reddish brown tiles as well as the modified bricks are the actual part of the door. The ingot pieces at the left and right of the door are supposed to work as frame. I really like the texture of the door given by the tiles as well as the modified bricks. To realize the design I have in mind, I've again had to place some jumper plates. I've added different types of bricks to the wall, and again the jumper plates helps to create a cool texture. Now I had to finalize the frame on top of the door. After filling all the gaps, I've attached headlight bricks. These allowed me to place the plates on the side and finish the frame. Now I just had to bring the wall at the same level at which the pillars were. Let's build the second floor of the house. I've again included round shapes, and I've used these clips for an illegal building technique. I've then extended this part to its final length. As the Germans heavily bombed out Minsk, I've wanted to include some battle damage at our building. So I took apart the second floor here and there and added battle damage by using slopes. Now I just had to finalize this part of the second floor by adding some corner tiles as well as this plate. The structure of the second floor is done, so let's build all the walls. The modified bricks allowed me to first place some plates. I've then added a bracket, and this allowed me to perfectly end up this corner of the build. Next I built a basic wall with battle damage on the top. I've then complemented the first of 4 windows. I've again used these rounded 1x2 bricks. I've removed the glass from the window because some of these broke during the bombing. To round up this design, I've added this arch. Because I've used brackets, there's a small gap between the wall, but I've used these modified plates to close it. I've again added battle damage and a modified brick in the corner. I've also created a damaged handrail by bending a flex tube. I've needed these modified bricks to add the final detail onto the roof. I've already prepared the walls for this side off camera. Now just have to repeat the steps you just have seen and build a third and a fourth window. I've also included cracks into the wall by using normal as well as inverted slopes. Now you can see how the roof comes together, and I have to say that I really like the look of these corner tiles. Now I just have to build the rest of the roof by using some tiles as well as wedge plates and tiles. And as you can see, of course, all of this perfectly ends up. I've added this part to the rest of the MOC and just built some small handrails at the left and right side of the house. I've used a combination of different sizes of bar pieces. This tiny piece holds both parts together. I've added the Soviet flag as well as a Panzer 38T. The group of Soviet soldiers barricaded by using sandbags as well as barrels. But their problem is that they don't have any weapons to defend that Panzer 38T. The Germans are taking cover behind their tank, and one is even throwing a hand grenade.